The night felt heavy on the Navy destroyer, like the ocean itself was holding its breath. The cold air slicing over the deck and leaving every sailor alert and uneasy. The ship surged forward, cutting through dark waves, illuminated only by the red glow of warning lights and the occasional flicker of lightning far on the horizon. Everything seemed ordinary until the shout came from the starboard side, a voice sharp cutting through the wind like a knife, unauthorized contact on deck. Within moments, elite Navy SEALs sprinted out from their posts with practiced precision. Their boots pounding against metal plates, the team fanned out weapons aimed at a crouched figure beside the railing. It was an elderly man, frail, soaked from the freezing water, as if he had climbed out of the sea itself, and his white hair whipped wildly in the wind. His breathing sounded rough, but his gaze was focused, sharp, and unwavering. One of the SEALs lunged forward, forcing the man down. Hands behind your back. Soldier ordered. The old man did not resist, though his eyes flickered with something unreadable like a memory too painful to speak of. They searched him quickly, efficient and silent. They found no weapons, nothing threatening, only a rusted silver pendant on a thin chain hanging against his worn shirt, a pendant that seemed strangely out of place on a man who looked like a castaway. The commanding officer approached, demanding answers as he towered over the detainee. "Who are you? How did you get past our defenses?" But the old man stared forward, silent, as the grave, as if those questions were beneath him, or as if answering them would unravel something too dangerous to reveal. The deck lights suddenly shone brighter as an admiral appeared. Flanked by two Marines, his presence brought a heavy shift in the air. The SEALs straightened instinctively, but confusion spread across the admiral's face when he saw the man on the deck. His eyes widened, recognition, shock, fear, all at once twisting, his features into disbelief. He stepped closer slowly, like he could not trust his own eyes. "Raise him," the admiral commanded, though the words escaped him in a hoarse whisper. The SEALs obeyed, lifting the man to his feet. The old man's body trembled, not from weakness, but from the cold ocean still clinging to his skin. Yet his posture remained steady, unwavering. The admiral reached for the pendant, his hand shaking as though he already knew what he would find. He turned the rusted metal over, and time seemed to freeze when he saw the insignia engraved beneath the corrosion. An emblem, long retired, classified erased from official records, a mark that should have been buried decades ago. "It cannot be." The admiral murmured, his voice barely audible. "Impossible." The elderly man finally spoke, his voice low, carrying a weight that made even the elite warriors around him go still. "We need to talk, Admiral, before the world repeats its greatest mistake." The admiral stepped back, struggling to find balance. As if the deck itself had tilted, a storm of questions raged in his mind, conflicting with the reality standing before him. But before he could form a single sentence, a blaring alarm cut through the moment. Radar contact, multiple unidentified vessels approaching fast, and the tension snapped every sailor on board, preparing for the possibility of hostile engagement. The SEALs drew weapons tighter, forming a barrier between the admiral and the old man, as if instinct told them this intruder was the cause of the looming threat. But something in the admiral's face said otherwise. He looked at the man not like a criminal, but like a ghost of a past mission that should have remained sealed behind the thickest vault in naval history. "Who is he?" One SEAL finally whispered, eyes locked on their admiral, hoping for guidance. But the admiral could not answer. Not yet. Instead, he met the old man's stare, searching for truth, for sanity, for some reassurance that the nightmare he had never spoken about was not rising again. The old man gave none, his expression stern, etched with years of battles far beyond classified reports. His voice quiet but commanding. "Listen carefully, because we have little time." The crew around them grew restless, glancing. At the horizon, where dark shadows loomed closer, The destroyer's massive artillery shifted into position, and sailors scrambled to stations while the sea groaned beneath the weight of impending conflict. The Admiral forced himself to breathe steady, though fear coiled tight in his chest. The last time he had seen this man, the world had been standing at the edge of catastrophic war, and every record claimed the man standing here had died preventing it. Yet he was alive, standing before him dripping. Seawater and secrets. The SEAL team leader stepped forward, pressing the barrel of his weapon closer to the man's chest. "Why climb aboard this vessel? How did you find us? How are you even alive?" The old man lifted his eyes, and in them burned the remnants of battlefields no journalist ever learned about, he replied in that chilling, calm voice. "Because they are coming, and you are the only one left who still remembers why they should not reach these waters alive." Another alarm shrieked through the ship. Unidentified crafts now within visual range. Sailors called out bearings and coordinates, tension tightening like a noose around the whole crew. The Admiral tried to maintain command, slipping into his battle-hardened demeanor, but his thoughts kept, drifting back to stories erased from his memory by force, not by time. The old man slowly extended his wrists forward in act of peace, though he still carried an aura of danger that not even age could diminish. "Take me inside, and I will tell you everything. But if you delay even for a moment, we will not live long enough to regret it." The SEALs looked to their Admiral again, awaiting orders torn between duty and confusion. But when the Admiral met the old man's gaze one more time, the truth settled in. Him like a weight too familiar to ignore. This man was not the threat. He was the warning: restrain, but do not harm him. The Admiral ordered, voice steady, though his soul trembled inside the SEALs secured the man's hands. But the aggression faded, replaced by unease, respect, and curiosity, because they now sensed that power did not always come from youthful bodies, but from the kind of knowledge that could destroy nations. As they escorted the old man across the deck, thunder rumbled overhead, as if the sky itself disapproved of what was unfolding. The Admiral walked beside him, hesitating before whispering, "What did you mean again?" The old man turned his head just slightly enough for the Admiral to see the exhaustion. The fear he fought to bury. The enemy who should have been gone is returning, and they are not coming to negotiate. The Admiral swallowed hard, gripping the railing for stability while looking at the approaching vessels cutting through the dark waves with haunting purpose, and, for the first time in years, he felt that terror resurfaced, the one he had buried with classified lies and medals earned from silent wars. He stared back at the old man who should not exist. The man the world had tried to erase, and he realized the chilling truth: whatever was coming toward them was not random. It had been set into motion long ago, and only this forgotten warrior knew how to stop it. "Prepare the ship for contact," the Admiral commanded, his voice booming across the deck, though fear clawed beneath it. And as sailors scrambled into formation, weapons raised radars scanning the ocean. The Admiral leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Why come to me?" The old man stared ahead at the approaching threat, "Because you were the only one who ever listened." The Admiral stood silent, the weight of destiny hanging heavy between them as the first foreign vessel broke through the fog and the sea around them fell dangerously still. The old man looked up at the Admiral with grim certainty. Time is up. A deep pressure wave rolled beneath the destroyer, like the ocean itself was warning them of something monstrous drawing near. The sailors held their positions, but none could shake the fear settling into their bones. The Admiral moved beside the old man, whose presence alone seemed to change the entire balance of power on the deck. His eyes tracked every movement from the dark shapes closing in on the horizon. The SEAL team leader stood close, weapon steady, though his confidence rattled. The old man spoke not to calm anyone, but to ensure they understood the gravity of the moment. Those ships do not approach with hostility, but with desperation. They carry people who have risked everything to get here because they know the truth about what is coming, and they believe I am the only one with the knowledge to keep them safe. The Admiral took a breath before addressing his team. his voice firm to keep panic from spreading all crew. Maintain readiness but hold. Fire until ordered, and under no circumstance is lethal force authorized until threat is confirmed. The sailors nodded, though uncertainty churned behind their eyes. The idea of welcoming unknown vessels in these tense conditions went against every instinct and protocol they had drilled into muscle memory. A flash signal flickered from the lead vessel, a sequence the old man recognized instantly. His head lowered, a moment of silent relief, before he turned to the Admiral. They are requesting permission to approach, but they fear an attack. If they come any closer, you must answer them before another nation arrives, before those who wish to silence the truth intercept the survivors. The Admiral hesitated, but only briefly. Then he raised his radio and issued the command signal safe approach and prepare boarding operations. The destroyer slowed, allowing the unstable ships to draw closer as waves slammed against them, threatening to swallow them whole. The SEALs remained alert, but the hostility in their posture softened. Their eyes narrowed not from aggression now, but from curiosity, and the dawning understanding that this frail figure dripping seawater was at the center of something.